The museum started in 1936 at MIT, and in 1990 the Institute moved to Atlanta, and 5 years ago we became Georgia Tech. Well, our mission is to collect, increase, preserve, and disseminate information about papermaking, past, present, and future.
Welcome everyone, my name is James Hildreth and this is the Robert C. Williams Paper Museum, and half of you are going to be going on a tour of the making of paper in the past and current, and the other half is going to actually make paper, and then we're going to switch around and everyone gets to do everything they want.
When you walk into the museum, if you come in through the first part, it's pre-paper. Things that were used to write on before we had paper making, whether it's clay nails or leaves or pounded bark. It's things that were used for writing on before paper. And then you go into early paper making, which is China and Korea and Japan, and you see what they were starting to do and how they were starting to use color with paper and how they were starting to mass produce paper.
Now the Europeans had a lot of animals and they decided, what can we write on? Well, we'll write on the animal skins. So they would stretch out the animal skins and they would make it into parchment and vellum. Now parchment is from sheep and vellum is from cows.
In this section is also a little room dedicated to Dart Hunter, who was the founder of the Paper Museum. He traveled all over the world collecting artifacts about paper making. Then you go into the Changing Exhibition Gallery, which changes exhibitions 4 times a year.
Why do you like this picture the most?
When you go across the lobby, you're entering into the early European and American papermaking. And we have all sorts of things from the original equipment from the 13 to 1600s to feeling what does a piece of cactus paper feel like.
They would take clothes, they would take bed sheets, they would take whatever they could find that was cloth, and they would cut it up into these long strips, as you can see right here, with these big, really, really scary looking knives, and they would put it into a stamper. And the stamper...
Then we have a classroom. So if you're here on a tour, which needs to be scheduled, then you usually make a sheet of paper so that you enjoy actually feeling how the pulp and actually making your piece of paper.
Now let's tilt it. I'm gonna let that water drip off. Okay? Now hold the bottom piece, okay? I'm gonna take this top piece off. All right, now you can take it to the vacuum.
Called couching, and that means you flip the wet paper off of the mold and decal onto a sheet and you press it, and then they'll press very hard on this so that they can get some more water out, and then they'll take it over to the ironing boards and they'll come out with a sheet of paper, something they have made.
So you all have seen me make the paper, so do you all want to come up and make some paper now?
How often do you get to do this? Never.
All right. Yeah. Okay, now if you hold on to the bottom.
Paper pulp in there.
It really starts to look like paper.
Just shake it a little bit. Okay.
Okay.
And we have things for children, from elephant dung paper to adults with chirigami to people who are interested in paper jewelry. So it's a story. It becomes history and art and archaeology and anthropology. It's a great big bundle all together. We have an exhibit opening in January called the Paper Runway, and it is paper clothing. And we put a call out to artists around the world, and we had 98 entries into this exhibition. And the artists are from Tibet and China and Mexico and Chile and Israel and England and the United States. And each artist created their own paper clothing out of handmade paper, where they built it or molded it or whatever they happened to do.
I have loved art all my life. I make sheets and I do sculptures. I print my photographs on it. I do painting on it. I do everything you can think of with the paper. The proposal of Runway came along and I thought, yes, this is it. This is what I can do. I can make clothing talking about what fashion does to women. I take a lot of photographs of gardens and of flowers and so forth, and I print them onto Lama-Li paper and make a skirt out of it. Nature inspires me. I've always been interested in nature. It's like a dance, it really is. Dance with fibers.